Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are out there in this weird, wide world. It is Saturday, July 18th, 2026. I am your host, the DJ Atomica, and today we are continuing with A Song of Sunlight. A delightfully interesting RPG, also a Souls-like. We are a sizable ways into this game. Now, I'm not sure exactly how long this game is, because as far as I can tell, How Long to Beat doesn't really have any concrete entries on the game's length. It's possible I might be one of the first people to submit a play runtime for this game, which is quite unfortunate because it's a really cool game. I hope more people play this. It's a fantastic work of fiction, a fantastic game, and it's completely free on Steam right now, which is incredible. This game could have easily been sold for $15 a pop, and it would have been well justified. It is such an extensive story. Again, I'm not sure how deep into it exactly we are as a percentage, but I've been thoroughly enjoying it so far. We play as this character depicted here on screen, Aram, who lives in an island settlement town. They are going through a famine, and we have discovered a megastructure beneath the village that was once clearly inhabited by humans, but is abandoned now, and only the remnant machines of their civilization roam the halls of this megastructure that's called the Well. We have discovered some records that the people who once lived here left because of their own famine to find someplace better. We have made it our mission to discover what that is before our own culture, our own settlement on the surface, falls to famine itself. Which is already in full swing. Things are looking dire on the surface, and things have only started looking more dire as time has gone on. Rations have thinned, tempers have inflamed, and just recently our childhood friend Kanari, took a prank too far and accidentally burned down the kiln, the place where the pottery is made. He has been arrested for this. His longtime friend and crush tried to run to his defense, and he, feeling both annoyed by her doting and also a bit of a burden himself, kind of deliberately tried to sabotage their relationship, say, "I don't want to see you anymore." I don't personally think he means a word of it, but that's just my opinion. Suffice it to say, relationships between them are strained. She will probably be in a very dark state right now. Her mental health has long sort of been built upon the scaffolding that Kanari's friendship provided her, and so without that, she's probably going to be in dire straits as well. On top of that, we have been scouring the well for weeks at this point, I think, to no avail figuring out where any humans might have gone. We hear rumor that there might still be humans living somewhere in lower levels of the well, but to reach them would require an elevator, which we had not been able to find up until last week. Last week's stream time, of course. The elevator has finally been discovered. We are preparing to enter it, and that's when everything went down with Kanari in the burned kiln. We ended off with a lot of story last time, so I forget exactly where we left off, but I am eager to see where it goes from here, so let's jump in. We left in Aram's housing. And the first thing I'm going to need to do when I get in here is, I guess read. She'd been sitting as the sun went down, sitting and listening. Kept outside in the hallway. They didn't know what to do with the girl. They would deal with her in time. Oh, yes, we also got a flashback reveal last time that the cause of Kanari's injured leg, which disabled him quite significantly and forced him from his desired track as wound bearer, the guards of this town, into being a potter, which he does not like. It's part of why he doesn't take his job very seriously and why he took a prank too far. Prava, the girl in question, feels quite guilty about this, which also plays into her attachment to Kanari. They would deal with her in time. So they left her to watch and listen. Okay, we've got some art. She looks like she's kind of just in a room with not much else in it except a couple potted plants. That could be foreshadowing? Pottery? I'm trying to make the connections. The boy. Has he survived? Adults with nervous expressions ran to and fro about the hall, carrying vases of steaming water, bandages, antiseptics. All of these things she recognized. Yes. Yes, they say he's breathing. But his body... As nurses hurried past her, carrying bundles of cloth in their arms, and they saw the pale girl sitting anxiously in the hall, their faces twisted into scorn, disgust. His leg. The bone was shattered, they say. It won't heal. Ever. Voices swirled all around. To the girl, they were deafening. She'd tried covering her ears, but she could only block them out for so long. Do you mean he'll never walk again? No. Not without assistance. So the girl forced herself to listen. Yeah, no, this is going to build tremendous guilt in Prava. This girl is Prava, I assume. Oh, this is going to be rough for her. She needed to hear it. She also engages in a lot of self-punishment, some of it obliquely physical, so I should probably put that in the chat. I pinned the warning. There's a content warning associated with this game. Content warning. Themes of violence and self-harm, I believe, is how they describe it in the menu itself. So we'll manually pin that and have that there, just in case. All right. So fair warning: there is some dark themes in this game. Please take whatever precautions you deem necessary for your own mental health. At last, darkness overtook the hospice. The girl slept there in the hallway, on the stone of the floor. Of course, she slept little. For hours, she lay awake, the many things she'd overheard playing on repeat in her mind. It's ruined, she thought. I've ruined it all. Everything I had. She could hear her own voice mixing with the others. It whispered in her ear, reminding her of the many sharpened stones that lay in wait for her, hidden in her special place. They were there, ready for her to atone. But for sin like this, how could they possibly be enough? What was the boy's obligation? She recalled one conversation that had stuck with her more than the others. Wound-bearing. Yes, I know. No more. Not with a leg like that. He'll be forced to break his obligation. It had been that thought that forced her to her feet. With so much of the staff focused on Kanari, it had been difficult to find anyone who might know. But at last, she'd stopped a surgeon in the hallway, pulling on his menage. One thing that I'm not completely certain on is how severe the breaking of an obligation is. Obviously, the obligation is how this culture organizes its professions, its vocations, the needs of the society. And people tend to, I think, at least it seems to me that people are assigned their obligations by the Ashan, the elder council of the settlement. But I've never actually seen it happen. I don't know how involved people are in choosing their own obligations. I mean, clearly in the case of Kanari, he was reassigned due to his injury, but do people have any influence over what obligations they choose? I know that Prava started in medicine and eventually wound up in the kiln. I wonder if she is at some point about to plead for her transfer to the kiln in front of the Ashan. I'd be curious to see how much that factors into the Ashan's decisions. Pulling on his Minash, he gave her a sidelong glance, scowling. What is it, girl? She needed to know. Desperately. Please, she begged. Which obligation? Where are they putting him? Irritated, he gripped her wrist tightly and pulled her arm off. Jesus! I know they mean pulling her arm off of him, but it makes it sound like he just ripped her arm from her sockets. That'd be extremely brutal. Oh, God. You injured one of the wound bearers. A debt must be paid. Let go of me. I have very little time. He's in terrible shape, don't you know? You did this, after all. All right, being a little bit of a dick there, Doctor. The girl was speechless, lowering her head. The surgeon let out a sharp breath, turning and continuing to walk. I can't quite make out what the image is. Is that the surgeon? Might be. Some of the imagery is a little bit dark in this game. It's fine. But she managed to call out once more. Please. I need to know. The surgeon shook his head and spoke without turning to look back at her. The Ashan are considering pottery. He won't need his legs for that. She found the knife right where she'd left it. She kept it hidden well, alongside her sharpened stones and shards of brick. They were all together in one of the many seldom-used storage rooms, the place she went to punish herself when no one was looking. She'd run from the hospice and gone straight there, unsure where else she might go. Yet, somehow, she couldn't bring herself to do it. It wasn't enough. So, she found herself pacing an empty classroom, knife in hand. The sun hadn't yet risen, and the room was blanketed in shadow. When she closed her eyes and thought only of him, she saw him falling. He's crippled. Forever. His obligation? He'll be forced to break it. To do something else. When she thought about what she'd done, she couldn't breathe. The guilt was overwhelming. Sorry to have started this off on such a such a dour tone. It's just a poor timing on my part, choosing where we broke in the story last time. But it definitely feels like we're reaching some sort of emotional climax here. The guilt was overwhelming. The girl had been keeping herself distracted, but now that she was alone again, it was suffocating her. I need to do something, she thought. I have to pay. To suffer. The girl held her hands out in front of her, dimly illuminated by a moonbeam from the window. They were so pale. She stared at them, thinking only of how they'd let him fall, No, I think I'm putting this back together again. I might have mentioned this last week as well. She has this habit of self-injuring as a form of, I guess she sees it as paying back her sins, as a sort of punishment for guilt. And she is, in the present, missing 2 fingers. So I think it's very likely that she's about to cut off 2 of her fingers. Especially given the shame that she feels over dropping him. These hands that have so diligently learned to stitch wounds and set bones. These are the tools that I use to perform my obligation. Just like his legs were. The girl held the knife to her fingers of her dominant hand. Oh, she's left-handed. Interesting. And as she stared down her outstretched arms, a thought stalked across her mind. A thought that made her heart pound. What would happen if they were ruined? If my hands were mangled or broken so badly that I could never stitch right again, then would I be forced to change my obligation, just like him? Yeah, so there's a number of considerations that went into this decision, all of which are ill-founded and guilt-ridden. She is not in a good state of mind right now. The rain came down. It pelted the many roofs of the darkened homes lining the street. Water ran in streams along the curb, ending in puddles that filled the gaps in the brick. That 2-story home facing the street, the one with the chip in the doorframe. The girl stood before it, in the rain. For the first time since leaving for general education, the girl stood before it. She'd been sent back. Sent away. They'd been horrified, seeing what she'd done. So they gave her up, perhaps out of pity, and sent her to the only place she had left. The girl felt her cheek. The punishment for harming one's own body. The precious gift from God, of which each of us had only one. Oh yeah, I didn't even consider that. That would be more than just a societal problem. That would be a religious taboo in this culture. This is a very religious culture. And they believe that they are very, I think, monotheistic. I could be off on that, but it seems monotheistic to me. I mean, they say God, capital G, singular, so that's where I'm led. And they believe that the archimancy powers that they have are also gifts from God. So they would certainly believe that the gift of life would be a gift from God as well. So yes, this would be a very serious religious taboo. It was severe. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, self-injury is a terrible thing. You should not do it. She stepped through the doorway, her heart pounding. When was the last time they'd spoken? Kanari's words echoed through her mind. Your mom, she loves you, right? She would love you even if you weren't cut out to be a nurse. Even if they deemed you unfit. Yes. The warm memories of her mother flooded back, holding her tight, spinning her around, laughing. She'll understand. I gotta tell you, I got a terrible feeling that she's not gonna understand. Based on how hard she was driving her daughter to follow in her footsteps, I think she's going to be quite, I think she's going to be quite angry. She'll understand because she loves me. That's what one would hope, certainly. That's what she should do as a mother. Her mother sat at a table across the dark room. This imagery is not encouraging. Her hands were folded neatly in her lap. The girl stood at the threshold of the door, unable to see her face. Water dripped from her hair to the floor, and she smiled. Mommy, It's me. I'm back. After a long moment, her mother spoke. Why? Why would you come here? Her voice was distant, cold. How could you even consider coming back here? All right, it's as I feared. The mother is not very understanding and not very comforting. The girl's words caught in her throat. What? She squeaked out. Her mother slammed her hand against the wooden table. The sound made the girl jump. Oh, I know everything. What you've done to yourself? Her tone grew in volume. The girl stood speechless. I only ever wanted one thing from you. Just one. You couldn't even do that? Ah, see, there's the problem. It's that she's wanting things from her daughter instead of for her daughter. Rookie mistake. Her mother aggressively came to her feet, loudly knocking several bowls from the table. They shattered. You fucking worthless girl! Now she was screaming. The girl took a step back, shaking. Mommy, what are you... she said on the verge of tears. I gave you everything, her mother spat. Everything! Please, the girl shouted, sobbing through her words. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Tears streamed down her bruised cheeks. Outside, the wind howled. And all the while, her mother screamed, ignoring her pleading. Obscenities. Threats. I love you, the girl cried. Please let me stay. Mommy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But her words were washed away by the rain. Get out! Her mother screamed. Get out! Get out now! And then there was a rush of air. So it was that the girl's final memory of her mother and her childhood home was being struck by a leather-bound book aimed at her head. Oh, Kanari. He lay perfectly still in the hospice bed, eyes closed. The girl stood over him, watching him sleep. That boy, lying broken in the bed. The girl knew, standing there, he was all she had left. Yeah, so his rejection of her is going to really send her down a spiral, I think. This is not going to be good for Prava, and I don't think it's going to be particularly good for Kanari either. Prava was one of the few advocates that Kanari still had in this society. I mean, Aram, maybe. Maybe a few of the more tempered personalities in the Ashan or in the Wound Bearers, but he's not doing so great himself right now. All she had in the entire world. For him, she would do anything. She had to repay the debt she owed him, to atone for her sins. If it was for Kanari, yes, she would follow him to the end of the world. And it seems as though her world has ended a little bit. Certainly, oh yes, okay, we appear to be back in the modern day. Kanari was held at the temple overnight and throughout the following day. A select few apprentice potters were brought to give their testimony, but neither Prava nor myself were permitted to see him. I'm not sure Prava would give very objective testimony in either case. Of course, he wasn't held for long. Not only had he confessed to the Kilnmaster that night, but again before the Ashan at the temple. Okay, yeah, no, he's just not even trying to argue his case. I was told he confessed almost immediately and said nothing in his own defense. Is that how you spell defense? That doesn't look right. I know this is a minor thing. Forgive me for being a bit of... for doing something a bit nitpicky here, but I want to make sure for my own sanity. Defense... Yeah, no, defense is spelled with an S, not a C. Interesting. Okay. That's not a criticism, because I would probably have also made that mistake. I'm just checking for my own, I don't know, knowledge. In the end, Qunari was found solely responsible for the fire and punished. His actions had cost the settlement dearly, but ultimately, it had been an accident. All right, that's more leniency than I was expecting from the Ashan. I mean, I guess, a council of elders, there's got to be at least a few temperate people there. Therefore, Qunari was beaten. All right, well, okay, maybe temperate is relative. I suppose I mean, frankly, I was expecting him to have been executed or, sentenced to go into the well or something. I don't know. This could have been worse, though getting beaten is still not ideal. Beaten and then sent home. For the 2 days that he had been held, my stomach was in knots. I felt sick, thinking about what I had done, what I'd been forced to do. But I'd been naive, thinking things would be better when he finally came home. No. The misery of those 2 days were nothing compared to what followed. The familiar shouting woke me. Khan! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Her desperate voice came from the street where she stood. Every morning it was the same. She came and stood outside our home, calling for him, apologizing over and over, begging him to talk. Won't you come down? Oh, please, Khan. Can you come down and talk to me? There was never a reply. Yeah, She's definitely going to be trying to reach out, at least for a little while. He's going to try and reject her because he's trying to reject her entirely. He felt sort of smothered by her, constrained by her, and so he's probably not going to want to talk for some time. That's not going to do any good for her mental health. I don't know how this is going to resolve. Watching her stand there, it was painful. I stepped into the hallway between our rooms, looking for Qunari. He was sitting back against the wall under a window, listening. Simply listening, and keeping himself out of sight. His bruised face was strained, eyes cast aimlessly forward. But there was simply no talking to Qunari. None. At even the mention of her name, he would go quiet. And that was the end of the conversation. Many journeyman wound-bearers had been diverted to help clear the debris left by the kiln. I was among them. Taken off my shift overseeing ration lines to assist with the cleanup instead. Honestly, I think I would probably prefer that. It's manual labor, but at least you're not having to, look into people's eyes as you keep them from eating. That's, I think just psychologically, it's got to be less taxing to clear debris than it is to guard a ration line. Every morning, as I left for my duties, I would pass her by. Often, she was sitting on the curb or leaning up against our doorway, eyes glazed over. She never acknowledged me. For my sake, there was that at least. For those first few days, she was so focused on Kanari. It seemed she had entirely forgotten about our arrangement. Yeah, she has dirt on us. She knows that we've been going into the well. She also knows what the inside of the well looks like, which is very strange, and I think we should probably dig more into that later. Probably not now. I don't think she really wants to talk with us right now. And bringing the topic up might perturb her in ways that could get us in trouble with the Ashan. Somehow, I'd managed to come out from under her grasp. I don't know if I can really think of this as a positive. This whole situation has gone sideways. At first, she only came in the mornings. And when it was clear Kanari wouldn't see her, she left. But as the days went on with no answer, not a single word, she spent longer and longer just waiting for him to come outside. Hours. It became clear she was skipping out on any responsibilities she had at the new makeshift kiln. Kanari often stayed home as well, if just to avoid her. It hadn't gone unnoticed. On the island, the punishment for refusing to work was forfeiting your right to meals, even as meager as they were now. How long had it been since she'd eaten? As I watched her from the window, I noticed just how frail she'd become. I stopped, letting Sachita walk ahead of me where Prava was sitting on the sidewalk. Okay, Sachita's getting involved. Thank God. Sachita, she's been very much sort of a background character through a lot of this, but she feels very important. And she's also probably, I don't know, as she's a religious leader, so she's probably got some skill in, I don't know, socializing. I mean, she is kind of also shunned by the village. She's very kind, very understanding. She's got a good head on her shoulders, so I think if anyone can resolve the situation, it'll be Sachita. Or at least get it moving in a good direction again. She stopped short, and I watched Sachita kneel and put her hand on Prava's cheek. I saw Sachita's lips move, speaking to her. It was unclear if Prava said anything at all in response. They stayed that way for a long while, but eventually Sachita stood and turned to look at me. She shook her head sadly. All right, I guess that did not go well. I just want her to come home and sleep. She hasn't been sleeping, Aram. Sachita leaned against the temple stairway. She seemed exhausted herself. The lines of her face creased with worry. It's so cruel. Sachita tapped her fist against the wall behind herself. He really won't talk to you about it? Not at all? I hesitated, but shook my head. No, I said slowly. I thought of my stilted attempts to broach the topic with Kanari. God above. If only I had an ounce of her sensitivity. If I could deal with others. Sachita looked at me for a long moment, and then dropped her eyes. I'm sure you've done all you can, she said quietly. I'm not. As the person piloting Aram, I don't think we've done all we can. But it's nice of you to say that. She needs help. We need to tell your parents, Aram. The High Priestess, she'll find a way to get her the help she needs. She's not well. Oh, our mother is the High Priestess? Like top of the food chain High Priestess? So she's not just a religious leader, she's the religious leader. Sachita, I guess Sachita would know. Sachita put her head in her hands. Oh, I think we might have a rainstorm coming in. It got dark and windy very quickly. So, if the stream dips out at any point, just know that might be the reason. Actually, I haven't even checked the weather today. What is this going to look like? I've got the smoke from Canada. Yeah, we've got a thunderstorm coming at about 2 p.m. So roughly a half hour now. Or a half hour from now. Oh man, the wind is kicking up. Yeah, this might be interesting. We might experience some dips in the stream. I'll do my best to keep it running as best I can. I do know that I might be in the middle of a thunderstorm soon. It's very fitting. It matches the dramatic tone that we're seeing right now in the story. I've done all that I can. Yes. Yes, I've... stop lying to yourself, Aram. You're not fooling anyone. I don't even think you're fooling yourself. It was evening. I was coming home from my daytime duties to get some rest. Stepping through my doorway, I felt a hand grasp my ankle, and I faltered. I looked down at my feet, and I saw her. Okay, she's at least acknowledging me at this point. I'm not sure if this counts as an improvement. I mean, probably an improvement for her engagement with the world, at least slightly. Prava had tried to grab my leg and pull me back. Aram, she moaned. I froze. This was the first time she'd acknowledged me in days. Prava? The sight of her, lying on the sidewalk. Up close, it was almost too much to bear. Her clothes and face were filthy, covered in dust. Her hair was in tangles all around her head, and her skin was pale. Quietly, tears rolled down her cheeks as she stared at me. Please, won't you ask him? She coughed violently. Ask him to talk to me. I thought of Kanari, sitting inside, sitting and listening to this excruciating display. My distress melted away, replaced suddenly by anger like I'd never felt before. I felt my blood boil. All right, I hope he's getting angry at Kanari, because I think... Throughout all of this, I really do think Kanari is being the unreasonable one. Okay, maybe Prava had been a little bit clingy, a little bit too doting. Oh yeah, I can hear the thunder now. But Kanari has blown this, I think, vastly out of proportion. I think he's being quite cruel to her, in my personal opinion. I felt my blood boil. Like, not... Okay, fine, maybe you don't want to see her. I think talking to her and hashing that out in a calm, controlled context is the appropriate thing to be doing here. I felt my blood boil. Why? She sobbed. Why won't he talk to me? I said I was sorry. Seconds later, I was marching through the door. I knocked a small ceramic vase to the floor as I raced up the stairs, fury blinding me. Yeah, I think he's upset with Kanari. I came to the top and stormed to where Kanari sat at his desk. As he turned to me in surprise, I grabbed Kanari by the hem of his shirt and pulled him to his feet. He stumbled, unable to stand properly, grunting in surprise. Putting my other hand on his shoulder, I shoved him into a nearby wall, pinning him there with my elbow and forearm. The motion was far more violent than I had intended, and it seemed I knocked the wind out of him, sending him into a coughing and gasping fit. When he regained his breath, he flashed me a strained smile. Fork! Fork! Fork? Hi, Echo. Is that a warning? Is that a command? You want me to fork the code of this game? Fork glorp. Is this a riddle? What? Is this a code? Are you in danger? Should I send the National Guard? Blink in Morse code if you're way too dank. I feel like I'm having a conversation with a sphinx. A brain-rotted Gen Z sphinx. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to figure out this. Oh no, wait, that's a 7TV thing. Hold on, I can't see that. Hold on. Oh no. Sorry, I'm getting used to a new trackpad. Oh, I missed it. Damn it. Well, I'll just sit here and agree with way too dank. I think I am way too dank. I do not think the Canary is way too dank. Any anime this season? Okay, no, okay, another chance. I can do this. Can I zoom in? I think I can. Can I move you? Oh, God. Oh, God. I am so... Oh, boy. Canvas output. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I fear I may have probably... Oh, okay. No, I think that's just on my end. You can still see the whole frame, right, Echo? That's not me changing this for the broadcast. That's just me changing my preview window. Enable preview scaling, scale to window. Yeah, I think I'm fine. You could do a quick search for 7TV emotes. Everything looks fine and normal. Good, okay. So I'm not used to using OBS with a trackpad. You'll have to forgive me. Any anime this season? I really need to catch up on Demons of the Shadow Realm. I've been watching Demons of the Shadow Realm. That's the one by the same author as Full Metal Alchemist, and I've been really enjoying that. What else? Does My Adventures with Superman count? If so, then I've been watching My Adventures with Superman. Oh, the new Ghost in the Shell is airing. I'm watching the new Ghost in the Shell. That's looking quite interesting. Very different tone from Ghost in the Shell that I have seen in the past. I understand that this is supposed to be more accurate to the manga, both in its art style and in its tone. It's very different. So I'm curious to see how this all, how it goes. It's also my understanding that there's not actually a ton of material to adapt in the original manga, so it might be like a 1 or 2 season thing. Who knows? Super Japanese. Yeah, My Adventures with Superman. Very Japanese. Gonna watch Edge Runners Season 2. I plan on it. Is that coming out soon? When is that coming out? Is that out already? I don't know. I don't think I have any romance or like comedy or slice of life stuff that I'm watching this season. Not that I can think of. I think the fall. Not sure exactly when. Okay, yeah, we've got time. We've got plenty of time. Oh, I really want to check out A Witch in Mongolia. I think that's also airing. I should get caught up with that as well. I have a lot of things I need to do today, actually. I need to go and return my router and modem to my old internet place, but and then I need to come back and do the Lux Nova stream moderating. So I don't know when I'm gonna get to watch all this stuff. But that's what I'm hoping to watch A Witch in Mongolia. I forget the proper noun of that anime. It's like Jadugar or something. I might be completely misremembering that. But yeah, that's kind of what I've tentatively lined up for this season. You do have quite an esoteric selection of emotes, Echo. The zoomies. I do like the zoomies emote. Yeah, are you watching anything this season? Are you... occupying your time, or were you looking for recommendations? Got a metric ton of gift subs. I only sub to Ender. Interesting. So you just luck out with some streams that give you emotes. That's pretty good. That's good luck. All right. So the question is this going to shake Kanari from whatever stupor he's in? Because he's been kind of a little bit stubborn recently. I mean, he's probably definitely feeling both guilty and a little bit resentful towards Prava, at least. I'm not sure exactly how he feels towards us right now. I mean, we did have to arrest him and put him on trial where he was beaten. So he might have some anger towards us. I don't know. I suppose we'll see. Well, okay, so we've kind of pinned him against the wall. Not for any fun reason. Yeah, you've become quite a brute, haven't you, Aram? Those hours at the ration line have been getting to your head. I didn't at all know what I wanted to say. But I needed to say something to understand how he could even sleep knowing she was out there. What's the matter with you? I spat. She's out there every damn day, starving herself, going without sleep. Kanari's smile faded instantly. How can you possibly make her suffer like this? He didn't say anything for a moment. I applied more pressure to his chest. He grunted in pain. It's time he learned this lesson, he said hoarsely. He grit his teeth. I'm not. And finally, his demeanor broke. I'm not a good person, Aram, he said, his voice shaking. Oh, okay, yeah, we got a list. I'm watching Mushoku Tensei Season 3, waiting for Core 2 of ReZero in August. Love Unseen Beneath the Clear Night Sky. You and I are polar opposite Season 2. Oh, fuck, I forgot that had a Season 2. I watched Season 1. I need to... That'll be my my romantic comedy for the season. I need to watch Polar Opposites Season 2. Because the dub is hilarious in Polar Opposites. They do a really good job with the dub. Kaiju Girl Caramelize. That one I don't know at all. Tensura Season 4 and more. A handful of some slop stuff, to be honest. Okay. What is Love Unseen Beneath the Clear Night Sky? That's a longer title, which makes me think that it's a more serious, like, romance. Also waiting for Smoking Behind the Supermarket to catch up with where the short series left off, which will probably be episode 7. Right. People have gone head over heels for that woman in the Smoking Behind the Convenience Store anime. Or behind the supermarket, excuse me. Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying that that Makima has returned in the absence of Chainsaw Man. She's probably your type, to be honest, best girl. But she smokes. Like I can't date a smoker. Look at me saying like I'm going to be actually dating this person. No, you're probably right that she is my type. What is Love Unseen Beneath the Clear Night Sky? You can fix her. Don't give me hope. Don't tempt me in this way. That's cruel. I suppose I could look it up, actually. Let me look up a poster for this. What is Love Unseen Beneath the Clear Night Sky? My mind wants to say Clear Blue Sky. A romance slice of life. The main girl is blind, and the main guy ends up helping her. Ah, okay. I have noticed a collection of anime with similar structure in recent years. Like, what was it? A Sign of Affection from a couple years ago. Love Unseen Beneath the Clear Night Sky. We have My Anime List. We have... Yeah, alright. This looks nice. The art looks good. I bought the light novel and read it in like 5 hours, and it's hard to say too much without spoiling anything. You'll most likely cry, though. Oh, no, that's right. I remember you mentioning this in Ender's server. Yes. Okay. I remember. I knew I had heard the name before. It sounded familiar. I didn't realize that it was, in fact, you who I had heard it from. Very good, yeah. Man, there's a lot of things that I could watch this season. We are not starved for good anime. Is good just some heavy stuff? I mean, this sort of comes with the territory. It's not all that surprising. I mean, a heartfelt Japanese romance anime involving disability, like, yeah, there's gonna be some themes, I think, that are going... I wouldn't expect it to be like a gag fest, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, good season for anime. I am looking forward to catching up on all these things that I have not been watching. Yeah, that's quite a list. How do you find the time, Echo? How do you do it? Anyway, Kanari is deep in a pit of self-loathing at this point. Okay, so... The way I see it, what we've got to do to, I guess, unfuck this whole mess, the first thing we got to do is pull Kanari out of this pit of despair. Because it's precisely this pit of despair that's causing him to treat Prava this way. There's a single word I can say that will set the tone for the series. Yes, please. Tell me this single word. I'll see if I can construct an expectation in my mind, a picture. Cancer. All right. Well, there we go. All right. Yep, that sets the tone all right. Also, I usually watch an episode during lunch at work. I can typically keep up with them. That's fair. What are you watching? Are you like do you have like a Crunchyroll subscription? I didn't know. or would you rather not say how you're watching? I'm not a good person, Aram, he said, his voice shaking. Use Crunchyroll? Yeah, okay, I figured. I figured it would be inconvenient to watch it any other way on your phone at lunch. I don't know, maybe it's not on your phone. Maybe you bring a laptop to work. I don't know. I don't know anything about your origins or your life. Trying to find pirated sites became a huge pain in the ass. Yeah, they're also, like, not mobile-friendly at all, usually. All right, we have an ad starting in 3 minutes, everybody. So take whatever precautions you need. Do what you got to do to protect yourselves from the ads. I'm not a good friend. Or some kind of role model. I'm worthless. I felt my grip loosen. Is this really Kanari? What am I doing? This... I stammered out. This isn't like you. I closed my eyes, trying to clear my swirling head. But when I opened them again, the person I held against the wall was completely unrecognizable. Yeah, I'm very interested in the way that the art keeps using the imagery of these mechanical talons from the well in moments of distress. I mean, clearly the well represents a kind of... All right, I'm putting on my my literary analysis cap here for a second. Clearly the well represents, like, the underworld, hell, you know, the dark world beneath, and all the associated dark emotions of the story. So it does make some sense that these talons, would sort of represent creeping dark thoughts or dark feelings, negative self-image, or just, they could also just be Aram having a traumatic flashback to the well. He has experienced a lot of gruesome stuff down there. So it makes sense that he would start flashing back a little bit during moments of distress. I almost choked. My grip faltered. And Canary, without his cane, fell loudly to the ground. I took a few terrified steps backward. What is this? Who is this person? My heart pounded in my chest, and I felt that I needed to leave. Immediately. So I turned. And ran. Ran down the stairs, out the door, and down the street. Well, that could have gone better, but at least we now know where Canary stands. At least from the standpoint of him perceiving himself as a sort of worthless person. Oh, hey, we're back at the well. It's been, what, like a week at this point? I mean, real time and also in-universe, I think. What's the matter with you? Tala sat against the wall, as he usually did, watching me frantically pack my belongings. Oh, we're in an ad. All right, we'll take this opportunity to take a drink of water. I just had one, but I'll have another. Delightful. Everybody, stay hydrated. I know you might be in an ad right now, but I'm going to say keep hydrated anyway. Because you never know who needs some hydration. The community is back. All right, we shall proceed. I didn't respond. You're doing it tonight? Pulling the handmade lever from under my menage, I turned it over several times in my hand and placed it firmly into my bag. My wound kit, a water pouch, and the reading device quickly followed. Yes, I said finally. I've waited too long already. I'm sick and tired of watching this famine tear us apart, Tala. He seemed uneasy. Do you really think, Tala began, if you get it working, you'll find all those people? You'll find out where they went? Already I was standing, facing toward the stairway down. Yes, I do. I'm going to finish this. I began to descend. And I'm not coming back to the settlement until I do. The next time you see me, I'll need your help to explain it to the Ashan, to everyone. I didn't bother waiting for a reply, and so I began my long descent downwards into the well, knowing that it had to be my last. All right, we've got to be reaching like a climax, right? So what is that? How could this go? We go down there. I'm still of the belief that the people who used to live in the well are now the people who live on the surface, that we sort of abandoned the technological life for this more agrarian, archamancy-based civilization. Because we have records saying that we used to know a bunch more archamancy recipes and then we forgot them. What I think that means is that we probably brought digital records to the surface when we came, and eventually those started to fail because digital records don't actually have that long of a shelf life, especially if it's like flash memory. Physical stuff like I don't know, Blu-rays or CDs, that tends to last a little bit longer. Even then, it's not a super long time. Those things can start degrading after like 20, 30 years. So it would make sense if digital records started to fail that we would try to transcribe what records we still had onto physical paper, and that in subsequent generations that don't have knowledge of technology, that would be seen as us forgetting recipes that we once knew. That's my current theory. So I think probably what we have is a situation where the people who used to live here went to the surface to escape the famine, and now we're experiencing famine on the surface again. At last, the elevator came into sight. My heart was pounding. I produced the lever and held it in my shaking hands. If this doesn't work... I shook my head, pushing the thought aside. So ultimately what my thought is that, like, the elevator works. We're going to be able to get it working, get it moving, go down to the lower levels, and we're going to find that nobody is there. We're going to find some record that indicates that we on the surface are the descendants of these people. Which has horrible implications for our mission, because we're trying to figure out where everyone went so that we can go there too and escape the famine as they did. But if we are the place that they went to escape the famine, and we are now experiencing famine, that means that our mission has been for naught. And this is kind of a dark game. They might go with a theme like that. I approached the raised panel just outside the small elevator chamber. However, something caught my eye. The elevator door. It was closed. That's odd. I recalled leaving it open. Somebody else might be down here. Well, I mean, we know somebody's down here. It's just that so far they've just been machines. Could machines close the door? Probably. It's just a door. What does it matter? I have far more important things to worry about. Studying the sketch I'd made of the other elevator, I carefully inserted the lever into its slot within the panel. There were bits of rusted metal that fell out as I did so. But to my elation and relief, it fit. I held my breath and slowly pulled the lever towards myself. There was a sharp metallic sound, followed by a low humming, and suddenly, small lights embedded within the panel flickered to life. It's working! Yeah, that looks like it's working. Is that a diagram of the well? It kind of looks like our map, now that I'm looking at it a second time. I yelled out in celebration, clenching my fist. Now if I could just figure out how to operate this. I stepped eagerly towards the elevator door and pulled it open. The door swung wide, and there was a person standing inside. Oops! Hello there. No, not a person. It's an ancestor. Okay. That could be... that's just... No, this is probably worse. This is probably bad. It was crouched down to fit within the small elevator chamber, but still towered over my head. Its face. It was so... I shivered. Oh, goodness. It spoke. Okay, it speaks. It's not immediately hostile. Its voice was eerily pleasant. What a relief. I can't believe I finally caught up to you, little one. I was so afraid I would lose track of you. Immediately, I leapt backward, unsheathing my weapon. I won't fall for it again. I held up my weapon threateningly. Based on that image, it's not that threatening. It's not a very threatening stance. You look quite scared. What do you want with me, ancestor? I yelled defiantly. How did you know that I would come here? The ancestor wrapped its long fingers around the doorway and pulled its lithe body through. I stepped back further away to compensate. There's no need to be afraid, little one, it said tenderly. I am a custodian of humans. It made a sweeping gesture with its hand. Caring for the children of this stratum is my responsibility, of course. As for how, that was quite a stroke of luck indeed. When you passed through the terminal of stratum 1345, I was alerted through the old network of a gene infraction. I couldn't believe my good fortune. A child with under 3% purity left within the strata. I don't have time for this. I'm not a child, I said angrily. I opened my mouth to say more, then stopped. Something occurred to me then. It's been looking for me? The night I returned after the attack, all of the other terminals. Something killed them. Did you do that, Ancestor? The custodian turned its head to the side curiously. Oh no, it said. I was surprised to see them deactivate as well. An administrator-level command came through the network shortly after the infraction, ordering all the terminals to terminate their logical cores. I've not seen anything like it for quite some time. Wait, they self-destructed? They received a command from the network to self-destruct? That's odd. That to me seems to indicate that somebody actually might still be down here. I mean, we knew that there were revolutionaries in the old society who were rebelling against the sort of the eugenic system that they had, the hierarchy they had in this old society. Could it be possible that they succeeded, at least in some small part, somewhere in the well, and have infiltrated the network to try and, I don't know, protect whatever humans might still be on the surface? I didn't know what to say. Then who? What is this network? I asked, my weapon dripping down slightly. Dipping, excuse me. The custodian put a finger to its chin, as if deep in thought. The gesture was uncannily human. It might be difficult for you to understand, child, but it's something that connects us machines together. Those that are able to physically interface with it, that is. It lets us share information. I stared at the custodian blankly. Very few machines can do such a thing in the stratum. Oh yes, that's to be expected here. At this distance from the surface, so few humans even remembered what the network was to begin with. It made a noise. Almost like laughter. Oh, but it's no matter now. I have been following you for many days now, little one. And now that I've found you, I can resume my proper duties once again. I let my weapon fall to my side. At least, this one is harmless. I'm sorry, Ancestor, I said. I don't have time to keep speaking. I need to use that elevator behind you. To go out of here, to leave this place. The custodian turned to look at the elevator, and then turned to look back at me. Out? It said, sounding confused. But this one doesn't go up, little one. Hello, Kixie! Hello! How are you doing today? I am doing well. We had a little bit of a thunderstorm a little while ago, but it seems like it's clearing up. The light outside is getting brighter. I have my blinds closed because I'm kind of just like looking out onto the street. But it's getting brighter out. Probably also getting cooler out, which is nice. We are making progress in A Song of Sunlight. You stay safe? Oh, don't worry. I'm fine. I'm well inside. A thunderstorm is past. The biggest problem, honestly, has been we're getting some of the smoke from the Canadian wildfires, and so I have to be sort of wearing a mask whenever I go outside. It might have cleared up more since yesterday. That was mostly a yesterday thing, and I think the rain has sort of helped with it a little bit. Thank you for the shout. Of course. Thank you for being here. You were playing special events. I can derive no information from that. What was your special event that you were doing? I know your birthday was recently, but I don't think that's what this was, right? No, it was a sub anniversary. No, not a sub anniversary. Streaming anniversary. Partner? One of the Twitch anniversaries. It was the stream anniversary. Yes, thank you. I knew it was one of them. I always forget exactly what because in my head, I'm picturing the emote, like the party hat emote, and I never remember what that goes to. I don't remember if it's like the affiliate or the just first day streaming. I don't remember which it is. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't matter. Point is, happy anniversary, Kixie. Yeah. How are you doing this fine morning? I believe it's still morning for you. Yeah. Yeah, if my math is right, technically it's still morning for you. We are encountering many machines, putting out many social fires and literal fires. I am honestly continuously flummoxed by how much is in this game for it being free. This is a free game. There's so much here. I've been playing this for like 2 months now. This is so much content for free on Steam. It's for affiliate, I think, but I decided to celebrate the stream anniversary instead. Fair enough. You can celebrate whenever you want. Yeah, no, I think because like affiliate is something that they could like track reasonably. That's like a milestone on Twitch's side. I feel like it would be harder for them to track. I mean, it's not like they wouldn't know when the first time that you ever streamed was. It's just that there was no, like, Twitch involvement there. Right? The affiliate program wasn't activated, and so they probably wouldn't have even bothered keeping track of it. So yeah, I can understand why it would be affiliate. That one doesn't go up, little one. Who knows where it might take you? Who knows what's become of it? The dates are so close for me anyway, so it's kind of the same. Hey, that's fair enough. That's just convenient. Yeah, well, congratulations on your anniversary. What do you think you're going to be playing today? I always feel like I ask this as you're heading out, and I have to. Whoa, almost dropped my phone. I always feel like I have to rush the question. So now that I've thought about it with some forethought, what do you think you're going to be playing today? Do you have a plan for such things? Yuko's Island Express. All right, bringing up Steam, checking this. Steam on my phone. Oh, I guess I need to log in again. How long has it been since I've been on Steam on my phone? All right. Yuko's Island Express. That almost sounds Ghibli-esque. If I could take a guess, that's going to be... Okay, a cute pinball Metroidvania like is probably the farthest away that I could have been on my guess for what this is. My guess was going to be like some Ghibli RPG like. Did I spell that wrong? Yuko's. Oh my god, Okay, is it just me, or has like have keyboards gotten worse? Like cell phone keyboards. I feel like they've just gotten so much less accurate. Island Express. Huh. It's not showing up on Steam for me. Is it a Steam game? Or is it like a different platform? Because I can't find it on Steam. Maybe my Steam is just broken. I don't know. It does sound like that. You are a dung beetle that delivers mail. Okay, I'm noticing an arthropod theme with some of the games that you've been playing recently. You had the Yoku's. Okay, hold on. We're back, chat. We're so back. Yoku's Island Express. There it is. It's summer, the season of bugs. I can't argue with this. You had that, like, bug battler game, like a month or so ago. And then you got this little guy. Last year was a fishing theme. Wait, so does it go by year or by season? I mean, I guess it could go by both. Last year was a fishing theme. So, like, did you get to, have you played Dredge? Remind me. Was there a Dredge at any point in that? That's probably not the most fishingest game. I mean, it is a fishing game. Yeah, it's a fishing game. I'm comfortable calling that a fishing game. Not on stream, but I want to. Yeah, I've seen Dredge played a couple times. It's a really cool game, especially if you like fishing games and slight horror themes. So that gets my thumbs up. So if you loop back around to a fish theme after the beetle theme, that's going to be my first recommendation. It just happens that way. Like, I play one and then get in the mood for more with similar themes just because. I don't think that's unreasonable at all. I think that's, you know, if you're sort of just on a kick for a certain type of game. Like, I definitely appear to be in a sort of visual novel kick recently. I mean, this isn't technically a visual novel that I'm playing right now, but it kind of is like halfway a visual novel. It's like a visual novel and a Souls-like stitched together. Oh god, that reminds me. At some point before I get into a combat encounter, I need to turn on story mode. I keep forgetting to do that. We've been having a lot of reading on today's stream. But I do try to match the seasons a bit with games when I can. Yeah, if you get like in a... especially if it's autumn, you might be in a spooky mood. That might be another good justification for Dredge. I'm just saying. It's definitely a spooky game. I know a lot of people like doing spooky games in the autumn. Or if you're doing, like, holiday games in winter. All of these, all of these factors weigh into a decision. I nodded. Yes, I said warily. I don't want to go up. That's the way I came. The humans that used to be here, they used it to go far away, didn't they? I began walking towards the elevator once again. Just as I was about to step over the threshold, the custodian put out its arm in front of me. Put its arm out in front of the doorway, physically blocking me. I looked at it, irritated. I can agree, that is an irritated face. He looks very annoyed. I'm not certain, the custodian said, sounding distressed. But you really shouldn't, little one. It's not safe. This ancestor is strange. I tried ducking under its arm, but it quickly moved to intercept me. I stumbled back, now angry. What are you... I began. Stop that. Leave me alone, okay? I'll be perfectly fine. The custodian didn't budge. Oh, please, it pleaded. It's only a matter of your safety, child. So few of the machines left are like myself. So many of them will be hostile to your kind. You'll be much safer if you stay with me. I stepped back. Clearly this isn't working. I'll make up an excuse to leave and return in a few hours. By then, perhaps it will have gone. Aren't we usually down here only for like 2 hours at a time? I turned and headed for the door. Very well, I said, trying to sound as disinterested as possible. I hear you. I'll find another way. Just as I was within a few feet of the exit, there was a loud sound of metal scraping against stone, and in a blur of motion, suddenly the custodian was standing in front of me once again, blocking the exit door with its body. Yeah, okay, even though it's not, like, actively hostile to us, I think this custodian might still be a problem. It might be a bit clingy itself. I felt my heart race. You were going to run away from me, weren't you? It said tenderly. Don't be afraid, little one. I'm here to keep you safe. God above. I lifted my weapon once more, pointing it at the custodian. Enough of this, I said severely. If you won't let me use that elevator, I'll kill you, Ancestor. I won't hesitate. The custodian made a strange, low noise, and then began extending its arms towards me. I raced backwards to avoid its grasp. Oh, please, it said, its voice raising in volume. Oh god, I should have turned on story mode before I came here. That was dumb on my part. Please. Please don't leave me. Don't leave me alone. It made another attempt to grab me with its long arms, and I dodged again. It began making strange, grating, metallic noises, almost like the wailing and sobbing of a child. I've failed my duties, it cried. Everyone's left the strata behind. I've no one to care for. I need you. I backed up until I couldn't anymore, back pressed against the elevator. The custodian crept closer and closer, and I was seconds from being within range of its arms again. If it grabs me, I'm dead. I don't think you're dead. I mean, I don't think it's hostile. I think it's just a little bit deranged. I mean, that could still be dangerous. I need you, child. Don't leave me. Don't leave. I grimaced, knowing already what I had to do. I have no other choice. Once again, I have no choice but to fight. Oh boy. I did not turn on story mode. Whoop. Oh, it actually got me there. Let's see if I can make it through this. Oh no, I cannot. Oh yeah, okay. Will you take me back? Will you take me back to the campsite so I can turn on story mode? Yes, you will. Thank God. Okay, real quick. Why is this not in the main, like, menu? Nothing there, really. I'll probably have to recover some lost memory iron. Alright. Now we're in story mode. I'm sorry. For anyone who thinks that this is not the proper way to be playing this game, I apologize, but I am not a skilled Souls-like player. So, the story mode it has to be for me. Bam, bam, bam. Loyal Custodian. I don't know if I should be fighting this thing. I think we can probably... Why did I get hit there? It's still quite difficult, even on story mode. I wonder if this might be a sort of a boss for the game. Ah. A lot of blocking. A lot of blocking, actually. Huge amount of blocking. Oh, wait, I forgot. Oh, right. I can wail on him. Got it. Block. And bam. Alright, now we can do Archimancy. Bam. Bam. Oh, I keep forgetting to do it. It's been a while. Alright, cut me some slack. It's been a whole week. I've been dealing with emotional trauma. Bam. And bam. Alright, I can do it this time. Surely. Ah. Bam. And we wail once more. Alright, yeah, that's what I need to be doing. And we dodge. And we dodge. Oh, I missed that one, actually. Thankfully, my health is okay. I've been speccing a lot into health. Mainly because I am Deeply unsure of my own combat skills. Whoa. Bam. Alright, we've gotta do some more blocking. Ooh. Parry. This is not the worst. We're making decent progress. I just need to... Whoa. Bam. Whoop. Okay. We've got our Archimancy... No, we still need more stamina. Bam. Bam. Whoa. Surprised me with that one. Okay. It's gonna be there. And it's gonna be there. And there. And there. And we dodge. I dodged that. Oh, no, I remember. I know what I'm doing wrong there. Blocking. And there. Bam. 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 Alright. This arena's quite large, actually. And we get the parry. That's fine. We've got to do more of this. Bam. Bam. I think we've got another strike there. More Archimancy. Bam. Bam. And we block. Didn't get the parry. That's fine. Just need to be patient. We are running out of stamina somewhat. Rebuilding stamina. Ah. No, I guess I don't understand what I'm doing wrong there. Let's heal up. Whoop. I dodged in the other direction. I don't know if I'm doing the dodging correctly. I might still be missing something there. That's fine. I think we've still got this in the bag. I'm confident. All right. We'll do one more blocking session. Blocking, building up stamina. Bam. And ba-bam, ba-bam. And now we'll do an Archimancy strike. Bam. 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 Oh, okay, we got him with the parry. Very, very cinematic. All right. First try. No, it's okay. I'm on story mode. I am a story boy. I like me my stories. And I was having way too hard of a time playing this on not story mode. So, that's what it was. I drew long, labored breaths, standing in the remains of the custodian. This might have been unwise, Arum. What a waste. A waste of my damn time. There could have been an ally. I think you just needed to approach that more diplomatically. My body screamed at me to rest, but I was unable to shake the image of Qunari from my mind. The miserable, twisted expression he wore. Prava wasting away on the street. When I thought of these things, I forced myself to move. I turned and stumbled to the elevator. The lights of the interior panel were lit like the one outside, and I stared at it blankly, unsure of what to do. I began poking and prodding the surface desperately, hoping I might accidentally find what I need. Come on. Please. This can't have been a waste. I have nothing yet. Nothing. At last, I heard a resonant metallic noise, and the floor shook beneath me. The door slid closed by itself, and after a moment, as I stood in silence, heart pounding, it began to move. All right, I guess we're going somewhere. Somewhere looks very... Oh, there we go. The feeling of motion was like nothing I'd ever experienced on the island before. Oh, yeah. That would be quite wild to be in like an inertial frame if you've never experienced that before. Minutes passed, and I finally decided to sit, unsure how long it might take. If he's feeling like a constant acceleration for minutes, this thing goes deep. This thing goes very deep. I could do the kinematics, but I'll spare you. It was quiet and still, other than the gentle hum of the elevator as it moved. There was no sound at all beyond my breath. All the while, as I sat, I imagined the world beyond the well that was waiting for me, the place I'd been searching for. There were fertile fields in all directions, stretching far over the horizon. No ocean, just land, bathed in sunlight. So much land that we could grow enough food for 10,000 people. There would be no ancestors or ration lines. No hunger at all. No hurt. No need. No well. I imagined Kanari and Prava, smiling and laughing, together again. I watched my life play out before my eyes. Marrying Sachita, living with her, visiting my mother and father with children of my own. I wanted to cry. Everything would go back to how it was. This horrible present would become an unpleasant past, a memory of wounds we shared, but never dwelled on. So desperately I wanted that world. I wanted to give it to everyone. I needed to see it. At last, with a low, echoing metallic reverberation, the elevator slowly came to a stop. I stood. My heart was beating out of my chest. My journey, all this pain I've endured, it's finally over. The door slid open slowly, and I stepped out, ready to feel the sun on my face. Dude, you went down. You went further down. What do you mean you expect to feel the sun on your face? I stood on a small platform, and stretched before me was a great settlement, greater than the one I knew by 1,000 times. Oh, hello. Somebody was deleted by a moderator. I think we might have a bot trying to get into chat. Oh, 2. I wonder, are we going to see a 3rd? Not so far. All right. I'm just gonna give them a good bot. Thank you, Seribot, for all that you do. You are the backbone of Twitch as we know it. In all directions, I could see nothing but buildings, spires, bridges, doors, and windows. Densely knit and lying bathed in darkness for miles. There was no light, no sun, only dark. I fell to my knees, clutching my head in my hands. The sight of it was like a punch to the stomach. Gone instantly were my childish daydreams of sun and sky. replaced with the overwhelming oppression of empty space, silence, and darkness. I laughed. I laughed out loud, and it echoed all around me. The well. It never ends, does it? I mean, you did go further down and expect to see the sun. I don't know. I mean, did you think you would just pop out of the other side of the planet? Clearly, gravity hasn't shifted, so we're still on the same side of the planet. I stepped out of the elevator and saw the remnants of the custodian lying sprawled about on the floor where I'd left it. The sight of it. It filled me with an aching rage that made my head hurt. I clenched my fists and grit my teeth, seeing its broken torso lying on the ground to my right. I kicked it as hard as I possibly could, shouting in miserable anger. It wasn't enough. I threw off my weapon and shield, which clattered loudly to the floor. I tore my bag from my shoulders, throwing that too, spilling its contents about, and I screamed. When I had finished, I sat quietly on the floor, surrounded by the mess I'd made. So much effort. So much pain. I tried so hard. I thought that God was guiding me. And now look. Look at what I have to show for all of this. All this time I spent underground, chasing a ridiculous dream. I could feel tears streaking down my face. Prava was right. I've been ignoring them. My friends. Ignoring their suffering while I play hero down here in the dark. I see now. There's nothing here. There never was. It's time. Time for me to give this up. Now, there's probably still information to be found down here, even if there's not people. I mean, we have been finding records throughout the well. Old data cards with records of the civilization that came before. There's probably still stuff that's, archaeologically of interest down here. But I'm not sure how much comfort that's going to be when you didn't find the solution to your famine. I walked slowly through the lantern-lit streets. The others had gone ahead. And to Tala, I hadn't said a single word. The night air was cold and quiet. As I walked, I watched my surroundings as they passed by. I admired the buildings, the homes and workshops, the island on which I'd grown up. This is where I'm meant to be. Not down there. I recalled my old dream, becoming a journeyman, playing my part. All those things I'd wanted so badly as a child. Why was I so quick to dismiss them? Maybe what my father said to me back then, after all of this, it was true. If I just played my part as it was laid out for me, things would get better. Eventually. Suddenly someone called my name. All right. Who is it? I can't see through the darkness. I looked up and saw a figure standing in the street ahead of me. Is that Prava? She stood. Minash pulled tightly around herself. Prava, I called out in return, surprised to see her up and about. I took a few steps forward. As I came close, I got a better look at her face. Just as before, she looked terrible. Well, that's a bit rude. Her eyes shifted about nervously, Her hair was unkempt and her complexion was pale. Aram, she called out again. Her voice was cold, but it was more coherent than it had been in days. I need to ask you something. I want you to be honest. Do you consider us friends? I looked at her, puzzled. Yes, I said emphatically. Yes, of course. Prava lowered her eyes, seemingly lost in thought. Yes, she said slowly. I already knew that's what you would say. I believe you, Aram. I believe that you think it's true, but I've realized something recently. I've been lying to myself for a long time, denying the obvious. I never saw it that way. The years we've spent together, I know now that I only stuck around for him, for Qunari, not for you, not for Sachita. Only him and no one else. I began walking towards her, shaking my head. No, Prava, I said, raising my voice. That's not true. I shook my head. I've been a terrible friend. I've been so distracted, so focused on the well that I've cut everything else out. You're not alone, Prava. Sachi and I, we both care about you. Qunari does too. He just... Oh, Prava said quietly, looking down. I came within arm's reach, stopping. I'm going to help you through this, Prava, I said sincerely. I'll help you fix things with him. I promise. Anything I can do. Because I'm done with the well. I'm not going back down. Never again. I reached out and put a hand on her shoulder. Prava seemed to go still at my touch. Then, she said after a long moment, I want you to do something for me, Aram. One more request. She gestured for me to come closer. I leaned in to listen, and her arm darted out from under her menage. Immediately, the upper right side of my body erupted into pain. Did she stab? Oh, yeah, she stabbed us. Okay. I don't know what she's planning. But I don't even know if this is a plan, honestly. She might just have completely lost her grip. I cried out, stumbling backwards. Prava fell forward with me, tearing my eyes down to look. I saw a sight that made my blood run cold. There was a large piece of ceramic piercing my ribs, sharpened such that it acted as a makeshift knife. Damn, she shanked me with a clay pot. That's brutal. At least get an actual knife, Jesus. Still, Prava held tightly onto the other end, blood seeping from the wound and onto her shaking hands. I stared at her, the shock rendering me utterly speechless. And on the girl's filthy, pale face was a look of utter and complete desperation. You have to die, Aram, she cried. My instincts kicked in, and I shoved her violently with both of my hands, unsure what else to do. She fell backward onto the ground, grunting in pain. Her tight grip on the improvised blade pulled it painfully from my side. Clutching the bleeding wound, I reeled backwards, gasping for air. Oh God. The puncture was mere inches below where my stitches had been. Realizing that, the desperate thought in my mind that somehow this was an accident, a misunderstanding somehow, it was gone, replaced with abject dread. She'd known exactly where she was stabbing. This was planned. Prava! I cried out, terrified. What are you... Already she was on her feet again, running towards me. There was a sickening rush of air as she swung the makeshift knife violently. Wildly, Jesus. I dodged backwards, still clutching my bleeding side. Each step sent waves of splitting pain over my body. "Please, stop," I shouted in desperation. "Why are you doing this?" I stepped backward to avoid another swipe, this time aimed at my throat. All the while, Prava's miserable expression remained unchanged. "There's nothing else I can do," she cried out. "You took him away from me." Yeah, no, she's completely lost her grip on reality. Things have turned desperate for her. This is deeply unfortunate. I don't think it's coming from a place of malice, though. I think it's coming from a place of complete desperation. Her swings were erratic and jagged. The pain was making me lightheaded. Still, her screams continued. "It told me, Aram. It told me if you were dead, it would fix everything." I knew that I was losing blood rapidly. It told you? I can't keep avoiding her. She intends to... I've been pushing it out of my head, but the reality, the sickening reality, I could ignore it no longer. She's going to kill me. I need to defend myself. With my free hand, I gripped my weapon, but immediately I let it go. No. Absolutely not. I dropped to the street, clattering loudly. I can't kill her, no matter what. Already my blood stained the bricks. Prava walked towards me slowly, panting, with her weapon in hand. With nothing else to do, I raised my fists. "Please," I moaned. "Please, stop this." But already my words meant nothing, dissipating into the night air. Oh, God. Okay, this is... We are fighting Prava. Desperate Prava. Oh, boy, that's all wild over the place. Can I not? Alright, well, my health is less than ideal. Oh, darn, I missed that. Oh, I need to get that pretty dead-on accurate. It seems like I am taking damage no matter what. I seem to be attacking all right. I don't know. Normally my margins are better than this. No, it seems like even when I'm getting it more or less dead on, it's still injuring me. Maybe it's injuring me less? I mean, I am, after all, blocking a knife with my fists, so who knows what the hell that's gonna cause. Oh boy. Hello? Can I get a chance to fight? Thank you. I don't know if I'm gonna get all the way through this, but... Whoa, okay. Hey, we can dodge. That's still good. Can I actually just keep dodging? Oh, no, that is a major strike. Alright. We'll need to block. Yeah, it is. Ooh, no, I missed that one major. Bam. Yeah, no, Aram was killed. Okay, I think this is a doable fight. Hello? Oh no, okay, we're good. I was about to say, I didn't recognize that place at all. Alright, no. I do have to still get this somewhat correct. But it is minimal damage. I've got, like, I don't know, 100-odd health. 106. That's enough to probably survive this if I'm perfect. Because anytime I block, I am still taking damage. I just need to keep the damage low. I'm gonna try and dodge that way, so that if I dodge again, I can maybe try and pick up that memory iron. Oof, that's too much. Bam. Bam. Alright, we're at roughly half health. Oh, I messed up that one. Alright. Baby steps. One at a time. It's not a particularly sophisticated fight. It is under quite dire conditions. So if my math is right, I can take about 50 hits. If all is ideal. This is going down to the wire. Ooh, that was 3. Man. 6. Alright, come on. 7. We are so close. I'm gonna try and dodge this way. I don't have any healing items, so... Okay, we've got that. My fist connected with her stomach, hard. Prava crumpled to the ground, heaving and gasping for air. She rolled around, kicking her legs in pain and moaning. Alright, we didn't kill her. That's good. I stood above her, panting hard. My knuckles stung, raw and split. Both of our clothes were stained crimson red with the blood from my wound. My hands were shaking. How much more of this does she intend to take? At last, Prava went quiet. She came unsteadily to her knees and looked up at me. Dropping her makeshift weapon to the ground, she said nothing and only stared. Her face was twisted, a mix of regret, of pain, and at last, she grit her teeth and stood, running desperately away from me and into the night. We have an ad coming in 3 minutes, everybody. Brace yourselves for that. Okay, so what's she doing now? Save and continue? I'll save and continue. This time around, there was no hiding it. No cover story. I'd gone immediately to the hospice for my wound. I mean, you don't really need a cover story. I mean, at least not for the well. Prava's probably going to get in some serious trouble for this. Can't say that things are going to look good for her, but I don't know. Maybe we can cover for her. That seems like an unlikely thing, but I don't know. I can try. I tried to lie. All right, well, there we go. Understand that I did. I tried to protect her. But there was nothing to be done. My blood was everywhere. The ceramic blade and her menage had been left behind. It forced my hand. And in the end, it was quickly deduced that I'd been attacked by a fellow child of the sun. The list of suspects became one very quickly. After that night, Prava had gone missing. The search for her began immediately. No, okay, no, I understand. I know what's going on here. She fled into the well, and we're gonna have to go in after her. We might even have to tell the Ashan about it. The island was scoured for any sign of her, but it was 2 days later when she finally turned up. Oh no, they found her. Okay. Never mind, I'm completely off. A wound bearer came to my room in the hospice. The news was delivered simply, so coldly and quickly. I was unsure if it was a joke. They'd found Prava after all, on the beach, at the island's far end. How is she? I'd asked. She was hurt the last time I saw her. She hadn't eaten in days, and... No, Aram, he'd said, cutting me off. He shook his head. They found her body. She's dead, Aram. They're gathering at the beach to collect her for the cremation. If you can walk, you should go while you can. Well, that's tragic. I feel so bad for everyone in this story. A crowd had gathered on the beach. The roar of the waves seemed deafening as I came close, pushing my way through to the front. There were many, but all of them I knew or recognized, of course. I saw my father, his face grim. I have an ad right now. I'm going to take this opportunity to wet my whistle. This is probably the worst outcome that could have happened. Now Kanari's gonna feel like shit. What I am curious about is something that she said during our fight, which is that it told me that if she killed us, things would go back to the way they were. It. Part of me thinks that might be an ancestor. Or maybe the well itself? We know that she has had some knowledge of the well. I suspect that there's more to this. I mean, I don't suspect that this is a fake or anything. I think she probably really is dead, but... Dear Lord, this is grim, just like my father's face. My mother and Sachita stood somewhere nearby. I could hear them sobbing quietly against the sound of the sea. Just past the crowd, lying on the sand, was her body. It was turned away from us, being examined by a small group of hospice workers. My father came forward from the edge of the crowd. He knelt to look at her more closely. After a long moment, he turned to the crowd and shook his head slowly. It was strange. All that occupied my mind, as I tried not to look at her, lying unmoving on the sand, was the fact that he hadn't yet arrived. Kanari was nowhere to be seen. The thought of his reaction kept my eyes glued to the skyline. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw my father take something from her body. It was a notebook. Something seemed to catch his attention, and he flipped it open. My father stared at what was written inside, and his face went pale. Could she have documented records inside the well? Because I'm trying to think, just like from a narrative standpoint, how do we address her clearly having been inside the well? How do we get that information out in the open? This might be the only way left. Slowly, as the light of dawn came over the horizon, the blood-stained girl sat on the sand, clutching her notebook to her chest. All she could do was rock back and forth, sobbing and choking out strained breaths. Her injuries ached, and she felt as though she might collapse from exhaustion. "What now?" she whispered. the question aimed as much at herself as the waves crashing ahead. Oh, Prava. As if in response, a voice echoed her name. She looked up and at the horizon, perhaps a dozen meters offshore. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? I mean, it's clearly a machine of some kind. Why do you look like a demon? Or an angel? Oh, no, something... Okay, is this whole planet a megastructure? I don't... It's like... Because this thing is out here now, and it looks giant. It stood, floating, suspended inches above the water. Its long, metallic black limbs were completely still, as it glided silently across the surface of the shoreline, like it were walking on water. It spoke, but of course, its mouth hadn't moved at all. My. There was something strange about its voice. Somehow it was different than the last time. It sounded tender, soft, yet all the same firm and stern, much like a scolding parent. Look at you, dear. You've made quite a mess of things, haven't you? The girl looked at the tall, metallic figure with swollen eyes. I did, she choked out. Everything you told me. Everything. And she put her head in her hands. It made it worse. You said it would fix everything. The girl continued to sob, unable to hold it back. Okay, so I think we figured out what the it is. My question was answered almost immediately. Oh, God above. When Kanari finds out what I've done, he'll never look at me again. It's your fault. A lithe, metallic hand with long, slender fingers extended forward, gently cupping the girl's chin. Oh, Prava, it said softly, how quickly you forget. Haven't I given you everything you've ever needed? Told you things you shouldn't know? Recall that it was I who suggested you walk to the shed that night, and delivered that boy to you as a tool. All that I've ever done, I've done so that you would have what you need to help yourself. This, my dear, is the result of your mistakes only. The girl, wiping her eyes, looked up at the towering figure floating before her. Do you think, she began weakly, he'll ever take me back? Time to go. Thank you for the stream and have a good day. Thank you so much for stopping by, Kixie. Enjoy the Beetle game. Enjoy the Beetle month, the Beetle theme, the Beetle energy. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by and stay true to yourself, as always. Back into his life. The hand pulled away, and the figure shook its head slowly. No, my dear, it said. Your time with him is over. Don't you know what he's been telling others about you? What he said in private to Sachita? To Aram? The girl shook her head angrily. No, she cried. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any more of your rumors. The figure let out what sounded like a long sigh. You can't run from this, dear, it said wistfully. You've become a burden to him, don't you see? All right, now this machine is like actually lying to her. What? So like it directed her to us in the shed, so like it knows what's going on. I'm betting this is probably the thing that that destroyed the terminals. This feels like a big boss. This feels like an evil mastermind to me. He doesn't want you around anymore. The girl looked away, shaking her head. But she knew. She'd known that it was true. Yes, indeed. That boy. His future was so bright, don't you recall? Yeah, it's feeding into all of her worst fears. Training to become a wound bearer. Such an important obligation. Think of the life he might have had. And think of the life he has now, dear. He's stuck. He's not fully alive. The figure made a sweeping gesture with its long arm. And you, Prava, you are the physical embodiment of his loss. Every day when he looks at you, he thinks about that life he could have had. The girl was silent, arms wrapped ever tighter around her notebook. He won't ever be happy unless you're gone. And there it is. I am furious with this machine. Okay, this can't be the end of the game. I'm thinking this is like a mini climax, or at least the climax for chapter 1 of 2, because it says chapter 1 of 2 on the menu. I think we gotta go back down into the well, if for no other reason than to figure out how to defeat this thing that's just sort of lurking around outside of the island. The girl looked up. "Gone?" she whispered. "What do you..." The figure interrupted her. You know, Prava." The girl's hand went to her arm instinctively, tracing the many scars, welts, and bruises with her finger. "You've always known how to do it, how to atone for your mistakes. How does it know about that, though? Has she been telling it? I mean, she might have." The girl stared ahead, into the waves. She was sure of it now. The voice it was using, it sounded just like her mother's voice. "You know what you'd have to do to make him happy. Isn't that what you want? He can't smile. Not while you're still in his life." This is absolutely the most evil character that we've encountered in this game so far. It might be one of the most evil characters I've encountered on this channel so far, honestly. This is extremely evil. The girl closed her eyes. She could almost see it. Those days she spent watching him running around alongside Aram in the courtyard. His outstretched hand. And his smile. That boy, so full of hope for a future he would never have. Indigo light burst from the girl's hand, and suddenly she was holding a sharp piece of ceramic. She held it for a long moment, and at last she understood. This beach. That classroom where the longing girl sat. That rooftop where the boy had disappeared. That home in the rain, devoid of light. Yes, this beach, like so many other places, the girl knew she would never walk away from. So she took the ceramic knife and brought it through her throat. All right, we gotta stop whatever this thing is. This thing is a menace. It is doing evil against our friends and our community, and we've got to stop it. There was a commotion from the back of the crowd. I turned and saw a figure pushing his way to the front. My heart dropped. It was Qunari. Seemingly unsure why the crowd had gathered, he looked at me puzzled, and all I could do was stare in return. But then he turned and saw what was lying on the sand. He took a step forward, and even despite the roar of the ocean waves, it felt as though all was left in a deafening quiet. this is rough. I'm trying to maintain a somewhat upbeat attitude here, but this is rough to watch. Kanari's voice, too, was lost to the sea. But I saw his mouth opened and closed. One word. You gonna tell us the word? Oh! I guess that's the end of this chapter. Yes. The Children of the Sun. Chapter 2, A Memory of Wounds. Holy moly. This is such an interesting game. Programming, art, music, and story done by Rage for Dragons. And immediately we're on to playtesters. God damn, this really was just like one person's passion project, wasn't it? That's kind of nuts. Music and story and art and programming. We got the playtesters, story advisement. Matthew Lucht, Tai Ho, Tico Sandoval, Lucas Dunker, Tyler Keeley. And the story advisement was Matthew Lucht, Oliver Orkind, Elena Sandoval. Trailers was Matthew Lucht. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's insane. I've never been able to just like read out everyone in the credits. This was such a small team working on this. Special thanks Matthew Lucht, Jack Newton, and Brackies. So I guess I'm wondering, is there more? Thanks for playing. Rage for Dragons. To be continued. Yes, okay, there is more a-comin'. Wowee. Okay, so we are expecting there to be a part 2, at least. I'm sold. I'm immediately going to play this when it comes out. I should probably go and check the social feeds of these guys. This guy, I don't even know who did this. Rage for Dragons is, I guess, their username? I don't even know if, a part 2 is out? Or coming out? Or even planned? Chapter 1 of 2, release version 1.0.11. Wowee. Okay, so that was a Song of Sunlight. An insane amount of content for free right now on Steam. And boy, did they introduce a twist at the very end. There is a... Honestly, I got Bionicle flashbacks watching that ending scene there. Very grim, very sad, very dark, certainly. And I think if we've ever had a motivation to rage against the machines, as it were, we've got it now. This is no longer just about preventing a famine. This is personal now. We need to figure out what's going on with these machines, with these systems, with the well, and we need to try and stop it. I don't know how we'll be able to do that. Our technology is much less sophisticated. But we do have the advantage of Archimancy on our side. It seems that everything that was made in this old civilization was made with Archimancy. And that includes the machines. And we know that new Archimancy is more resistant to breaking than old Archimancy. So, we can stab old Archimancy with a knife made of new Archimancy, and it's our knife is invulnerable, effectively, for a very short period of time. So we could do it. But at some point, we're going to have to get, I think, the rest of society involved. This can't just be a one-man show anymore. I think a lot of people are going to be very mad at us for keeping this secret. But I think now that Prava's journal is out in the open, I don't think we can keep it a secret any longer. Because there's no way that Prava didn't write about what was going on in her journal. We have to be in there. Everything's out in the open now. The Ashan are going to know. The rest of society is going to know. Yeah, no. I am so pleasantly surprised by this game. It has been an extraordinarily well-constructed story. I am here for whatever they do next. Which actually, let me go back and check to see if... let me see. Can I go to the... game details? Is there any, updates? Chapter 1 of 2, OST release. Song of Sunlight Chapter 2, releasing on January 16th. A Memory of Wounds will be coming January 16th. Okay, so that was fairly recent. Interesting. Do we have anything... Okay, patch notes. I'm very excited to announce that simplified Chinese language support has been added to A Song of Sunlight. Tell your friends. Thank my translator. In addition to a new language, I've made a few small tweaks to the game in patch 1.0.2. A small supply of perfect metal is now sold by the scout ancestor. Perfect metal is now a rare drop from several enemies in the well. The story mode setting will now save. I do have to say, I don't think that is quite working still. If on the off chance that that the creators are watching this, I am still having trouble getting the story mode setting to save. Adding extra UI for Archimancy items on the loadout screen. Fixed a small bug related to quest display accidentally appearing while in the choice UI. Not automatically moving ARM when choosing to accept or decline. 2 potential soft locks during the Archimancy tutorial. A ton of small grammar and spelling errors. Alright, that's the last update that we have. And that was Tuesday, July 7th. Which, actually, that was very recent. That was like 11 days ago? Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'm just gonna keep an eye out for any further updates. It says to be continued, so I'm assuming that there's something coming further down the line. Wowee. Story mode. Yeah. That was when it was introduced. Okay, cool. Well, I think that's good enough justification to end a little bit early today. I usually go for 3 hours. We're going for about 2.5 today. That's fine. The game ended. Now we have to decide what we're playing next. I think... Okay, going back... Blah, 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 blah. There we go. What should we play next? I think the next thing that I have... Yes. I want to play Planet of Lana 2 next. I think that's what I want to do. And now that I've got everything set up in my new place, I might even try playing this from my PC again. I might not have to rely on the Stream Deck quite so much. Though the Stream Deck has been fantastic. Obviously, it has its limitations just in terms of hardware capabilities. So I might be trying to set this back up on the PC. I might try and get that set up now. So I think this is what we're going to be playing next. Next time we're going to be playing Planet of Lana 2, which is the sequel to a game that I played more than a year ago. Maybe more than 2 years ago. I don't know. It's been a while since I played Planet of Lana, but it was a really neat puzzle side-scroller sci-fi game. And it's short. I definitely want to take a break and play a short game. That's what I thought A Song of Sunlight was going to be, but I got pleasantly surprised by an extremely deep and well-crafted game. So, I think what I'm going to try... I remember Planet of Lana 1 being relatively short, like 1 or 2 streams. Maybe 3. So if Planet of Lana 2 continues in that vein, that might be... that might be the play while I get prepped for anything else that I might be doing in the future. Because I have a lot of things that I'm interested in playing before I dive back in to longer story-based stuff. I do eventually want to get to the sequel for Paranormasight, which is going to be, I think, pretty cool. We had a good time with the first Paranormasight. And I'm obviously going to be keeping my eyes out for any further updates on A Song of Sunlight, because this is such a pleasant surprise. A free Steam game with this much content, this well-crafted of a story. I'm blown away by it, frankly. It's an inspiration, and done basically by one person as far as I can tell. That's incredible. I'm so happy I played this. I'm so happy I got recommended this. All right. Well, with all that said, I think it is time for us to raid a little bit earlier than we usually do, but that's okay. I do have some places I want to be going. It's a raid. Hello, Ba. I need to tell you the experience that I just had. First of all, hello, Raiders. Hello, Ba. Welcome, everyone. Last time playing House Flipper. That's a lovely game. No, no, it's fine. Don't worry, Ba. Don't worry. I need to tell you the experience that I just had doing this. I was like, okay, it's time to raid. It's a little bit early, right? We finished the game. Hello, Aruma. Thank you for the first time chat. And hello, Matcha, as well. Did I miss anyone? I think I got everyone. Yeah, Ba, Matcha, Aruma. Hello, everyone. So I finished the game earlier than expected. I usually like to go for 3 hours. We've gone for 2.5. It's fine. It happens. I was not sure when this game was going to end. It's been a fantastic game. 2 thumbs up from me for Song of Sunlight, in case anyone's interested. So I'm like, okay, time to raid. I open up my phone, I open the Twitch app, which is how I usually like to search for raiders, and I see, oh, Ba's streaming. I see the ending screen come up, I click it to see what's going on, and when I click in, it opens my stream window. It opens my stream, and I'm like, I got stun locked for like a microsecond, thinking, wait a minute, what? Did I... And then I move my phone to the side and I see the chat on my screen with the raid message coming in. So that was truly impeccable timing. You timed it down to the second when I clicked on your stream. I don't think that's ever happened to me before. It was the plan all along. Well, masterfully executed. I cannot compliment you enough. Holy moly. Rubbing hands evilly. That's not even evil. That's just a masterstroke. Well done, everyone involved. Unfortunately, I do have to raid out because I don't have a game to show you. I mean, we can sit here and chat for a while, certainly. But we are eventually going to have to raid in a little bit. How is everyone doing today? I hope House Flipper treated you well. 3 hours of just that. I do not have a 5-hour stream in me. I am not Ender Empress. I am not any of these people who do long streams. 4 hours total is already pushing it for me. And hello, Bree. Welcome. Good morning. Tips Fedora, totally my plan all along. Yes, we are here. We actually just finished here. Let me zoom back out here to the game in question. We just finished playing A Song of Sunlight, which is probably one of the most pleasant surprises I have yet played on this channel. This got recommended to me by Sivari, a friend of the stream, and the art style actually reminds me a lot of Sivari, so it's my secret headcanon conspiracy that this was actually made by Sivari. It was not. I don't think. It was made by Rage for Dragons. You can see their logo up in the corner. And this is completely free on Steam. You can get this game for $0.00. I was expecting this to be a kind of short, like 1 or 2 stream game to sort of take a break after we did the long Paranorma Site saga. I turned out to have had enough content in this game to stream for like 2 solid months of stuff, and it is very interesting world that has been created, very interesting story. The gameplay, I'm not a good Souls-like player, so I had to lower the difficulty, but the gameplay is very cool. I am frankly flummoxed at the just the amount that we got for a free Steam game. This year's free-to-play titles are insanely quality. I've seen a couple that released this year that looks exquisite. Well, allow me to add this to the list of recommendations, because this is... It is such a cool game. And as far as I can tell, this Rage for Dragons, that's one person. I think that's not a company. I think that's a user. They did the story. They did the art. They did the music. They did the programming. They did everything. Literally, as I could read the credits out verbally, name by name. This is that small of a team. It was programming, story, art, and music by Rage for Dragons, and then the next credit was playtesters. And then, like, story consultant and special thanks. And that was it. That was the entire credits. I have just told you all of the credit categories. As far as I can tell, everything in this game was made by Rage for Dragons, whoever they are. They've clearly got a vision. It ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, but that's because I think that there's more to come. I think that they're going to be making more chapters for this game at some point. The end of the credits said to be continued, so I'm taking them at their word for that. And I'm all for it. Whenever they release new stuff, I'm there. This has been such a pleasant surprise. Also, not the short game that I was looking for. So next time, we are going to be playing Planet of Lana 2, which is a sequel to a game that I played a while back, a sci-fi puzzle side-scroller, very cute art style, very cool. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Everything I caught from you playing this looked stunning. It's such a cool art style. And you can tell that it's so personal, because I said that it reminds me of Sivari's art style because it is so distinctive. It is so clearly like the art style of a particular person. And you can see it throughout the entire game. You can see it in the pixel art. You can see it just in the background art of this menu. It's such a rock-solid sense of artistic visual language and theming. Superb. Chef's kiss from my end. I need to specify that was a chef's kiss, because that would be a real weird thing to do, just in the middle of a sentence, anything other than a chef's kiss. But yeah, if anyone's looking for a mega structure, horror-themed, Souls-like pixel art, A Song of Sunlight gets both thumbs up from me. Got some dark themes in it. I should warn you that there's content warning stuff in this game. So, do your discretion, do your due diligence. But man, oh man, I am pleasantly surprised by this game. All right, that's enough of me gushing. I think we do have to take our leave for the time being. So I will actually return to the Twitch app and see who else is streaming right now. What do we have available to us? I am, of course, always open to suggestions. Let us see. I think... You know what? I haven't been able to raid Creature in a while, so let's go raid Creature. That's where we're going to send everyone. All right, let me get the raid messages out. Everyone, please select whatever raid message you like, whatever meets your heart's fancy. I'm going to select this one. Uh-oh. I am using OBS with a trackpad for the first time. This is going to be potentially difficult. No. Okay, I just clicked it wrong. All right. I've got the raid message. Cool. Thank you for streaming. Thank you so much for stopping by. And thank you for the raid, of course, Baw. Thank you for your community dropping by. I really appreciate it. Sorry that I could not spend more time with you. Sorry that we had to raid and... sorry that we had to run. And I think after this, I'm going to have to go return a router. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to raid... Creature. I think I'm spelling that right. Oh, I think I got the capitalization wrong. Creature. Come on, tell me that's right. Yes, it's right. Okay, cool. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by for an episode of A Song of Sunlight. I really appreciate everyone who stopped by at any point during this fantastically constructed game. Your company means the world to me as always. We're going to be returning the same time next week, 1 p.m. EST on Saturday, to begin Planet of Lana 2, a sequel to a game that I really liked from probably more than a year and a half ago now. I hope to see you all there. If not, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week, and as always, stay true to yourselves, everyone.